in Nagaland also. The Nagaland Board of School Education has revised the language teaching curriculum, and from content teaching, we've shifted to skill reinforcement. And Nagaland Board is the only board in the country which tests listening and speaking skills in English. No other board, CBSE or ICSE or any other skill, any other board has been able to establish the testing of listening and speaking. So though there are a lot of problems in Nagaland, but changes are coming about, and the newer system is in place now. The students of class 9, 10, 11 are studying the newer books. Of course, by the time they reach Monica, it would be very, very many years when they would be qualified to handle the, when the language proficiency would be good enough. But yes, the ball is set rolling right now. So that's the story of Nagaland School Education Board.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, you.
This is to Mr. Srivatsan.
Sir, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Rajat. I represent Manipal City and Gulch. We were here, we have some projects for the Northeast, where we're working with all the 8 states for Northeast, where it's into the hospitality area. We're looking at skilling them, both in English, workplace skills, as well as domain. And they're looking them how they will be able to migrate to the abroad and other areas. That's one of the specific projects. But the reason for me talking to, particularly this, what I'm trying to share with both of you, is it's really heartening to know about ACPL. As an organization, Manipal City and Gulch, we have been talking about accreditation of prior learning, because we bring in the knowledge base of City and Gulch world over. We are known for leading the vocation area. So this is an area which will be saying that we are here, we can work with IGNOU on areas. You mentioned, ma'am, that about you're wanting to have knowledge and knowledge sharing about from the experience of the world. So we operate in 81 countries. So we can bring in, as Manipal City and Gulch, and IGNOU can really work together. We have already started a few works in our own area. So, but this is a small opportunity, but I think we can work together. Thank you.
I'm former Director of Higher Education, Tamil Nadu, and also the expert committee member of the community colleges. To add to what Dr. Ghosh has been saying, the last interface meeting we had a couple of months back, a lot of presentations were made by people from Nagaland, but we were not in a position to select a few community colleges purely because the content and the concept of the community colleges was not properly transmitted to the institutions in Nagaland. And so what we suggested at the end of the second day was that we could offer a kind of an exposure if the people from Nagaland can come forward to organize a 2-day kind of a workshop or a seminar, so that some of the people who are like Professor, the Vice Chancellor and Bhattacharya, all of them were there. And we felt that some sort of exposure can be given to the Northeast frontier states on this. And if it could be organized, it will be very well understood, and it could also come up with a number of institutions which may require the kind of inputs. Thank you.
With Delhi University, and my first exposure to vocational education in YMCA, where I was in charge of Human Potential Development Wing. Now coming to as a principal of IGNOU's Community College, Town Schools IGNOU Community College, and Director Academics and Trainings for vocational programs. A major concern is that vocational education, it looks good on paper, but there's a huge prejudice against it. It is the stepchild. It is the last choice of parents, students. and even the employers. And therefore, I think we need to cross this journey, take this journey of prejudice to pride when it comes to vocational education. That is something which I wanted to share. And that could happen where all the stakeholders pitch in and do an awareness campaign. We do not recognize the value which vocational education adds. And if something could be done on that through media, through all the stakeholders, through industries pitching in and giving in their need, and also last or not the least, somewhere down the line, we need to connect the learning outcomes of our contents with the job profiles. That will solve ma'am's problem also, where people have the degrees, they have the certificates and diplomas, but they do not have the application which is required for adequate skill sets which are demanded by the industry.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to be partial. I'm going to give a chance first to my colleague from Mizoram because Mizoram has been unrepresented. Can you, sir, please? Yeah. Okay, madam, please. Yeah.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dikki. I'm an academic advisor in IGNOU. I am teaching in the education department of Mizoram University. And first, I just wish you would bear with me because I want to express some sentiments. You may say it's sentimental, but still, I would just like to share that we Mizoram, from Mizoram, sometimes we feel that we are ignored. And when we come to central part of India and when we are ignored, we somehow take it, we somehow accept it because that has been happening for so long. But now coming to the northeastern states, the ball is set rolling. It always ends in Shillong or it always ends in Guwahati. We have been experiencing this. And in this very session also, we feel that we are unrepresented. And in the round table also, no Mizos are there. And we find that we have been talking about Nagaland or Meghalaya. And no one has ever said anything about Mizoram. And we are raising our hand. My regional director has to go around to get our representation. And that is our sentiment. And another thing is, IGNOU has been functioning in Mizoram for the past 10 years and a little bit more than 10 years. And we have many graduates from IGNOU. And new schemes that have been coming up, maybe in Guwahati or Shillong, it has never reached us. And we are still running on the general academic course. And we wish that after in the round table session, we wish that the ball that is stopping in Guwahati or stopping in Shillong should be kicked towards Mizoram so that vocational educational centers, skill development training centers may reach us. So in short, that is what we want to represent. Thank you.
Madam, it's heartening to listen to you. May I add on to your comments? I personally have been contacting people from Mizoram, let me say, to give us some collaborative working opportunities, and we're looking forward to it. I have been sending messages, and in fact, your present Vice Chancellor, when he became the Vice Chancellor, he was the first one to call me up and say, now I am in Mizoram, so I will listen to your request. So it is not Mizoram who's gone unrepresented. IGNOU does look up to Mizoram, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think we need to forego, just a minute. We need to forego our lunch because I have been getting some threatenings that 2 o'clock the counter closes. So either we go for lunch or take just 2 quick questions because my colleague, Professor R.R. Singh, has to sum up as well. So 2 questions.
Yeah, one reply from this side, because IGNOU has lot of money. I don't know why EdNehru did not use 100 crores available for the previous years for that place. I really don't understand. So
Okay,
I have been telling
can we
them
take to Madam,
that
please?
there is
Can we
enough
take to
money for
Madam?
all progress. Only thing is that you should have projects, you should have way of using it. I must tell you
Ma'am,
that.
please.
I'm Dolly Bhasin. I am a knowledge entrepreneur And I have been working on bridging the gap between the industry and the academia, and very specifically working on very innovative ICT-enabled education projects. I have, to my credit, about 35,000 students that I have trained in entrepreneurship kind of course, which is not driven by the academic, but by creating entrepreneurs in the insurance sector. And I worked on a very, very innovative model, which is what I would like to share, which is what would work in northeastern kind of states, is that you really work with the industry and try to really look at what are the kind of problems, what are the kind of people that they require, and then develop a course around it and then disseminate it through a blended mode or a distance learning mode, and try to engage the students right from the very beginning in a kind of skill that the industry needs. And I will just share with you that I have just taken up one ITI in Delhi with that particular kind of, and maybe, I mean, within a few months or within a few years, we will be able to show some results. But mobile learning is another area that one needs to really examine, especially when we really look at the northeastern states. Mobile is one medium which can be made available to every learner in a state which does not have the kind of mechanism. So this is one thought that I'd like to share, very specifically considering the hilly terrain and the non-availability of trained people to use the kind of.
Can I now request Professor R.R. Singh to just sum up, and all the interactions we will continue during lunch, and for the community college session, some of the people who wanted to interact will also can join in this very hall. Dr. Kiran Bedi is coming here, and whatever questions are being raised is also relevant for the community college session for Northeast also in particular. So can I request Professor R.R. Singh to sum up, and then we have a very brief vote of thanks, otherwise we won't have lunch, so we can discuss during lunch as well. Thank you so much.